for me, it's very important. If you are like a kid from 5 years old, and if you start to learn about the geometry of the universe, the geometry of the nature, the geometry of everything, you start to go in a good way, about science, about the connections between archaeology, physics, math, chemistry, geometry, biology. Everything is connected, not isolated.
Welcome to Wellness Spring, our one-stop shop for education, inspiration, motivation, and optimal wellness. Learn from top experts and exceptional people.
Welcome, dear friends, to Wellness Spring. And today I'm so honored and blessed to have a lovely friend with me, María Carolina Brühl Rojas, whom I met for the first time in Monaco in 2018. And she was one of the amazing speakers with a team of scientists before we promoted Nassim Haramein. So welcome, María Carolina, to Wellness Spring. So lovely to have you here with us today.
Oh, thank you, Beverly, for this beautiful opportunity. And for me, it's a pleasure to be here with you again, Oh, the time pass, and yeah, life pass. So see you again is really, really emotional. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. The same. For my listeners, María Carolina is a well-known astronomer with a long string of accolades to her name. She has a vast experience of 21 years of astronomy. María Carolina is a renowned Colombian scientific disseminator who has dedicated a large part of her life to promoting science and astronomy in national and international levels. And thanks to her work and dedication, she's managed to obtain recognitions in her field of action, including the title as the first woman to lead an astronomical observatory in Latin America, and also recognition at the International Congress of Astronomy in Chile in 2009 for her remarkable work. And these are only two small things, well, big things. She has so much more. And it was amazing because, as everyone knows, Nassim Haramein is a world #1 physicist. And he listened to her speak and was blown away and offered to work at the event there and then to be part of his resonance science research team. And and I believe on your very, very first scientific expedition as an astronomer with the Resonance Science Foundation in Mexico in 2019, on your own initiative and with obviously prior authorization and consent with Nassim, you translated the Unified Science course into Spanish. Please tell us and tell all the listeners, what was that like, when Nassim offered you work and then to take your own initiative and have that freedom to run and be your own self and shine?
Oh, wow. But you said everything. That's it. Yes, it's, oh, thank you, Beverly. Oh. Yes, in fact, work with Nassim Haramein has been really, really interesting because, all my life I have worked with or in the general astronomy world. you know, all the time. So when I met Nassim Haramein, for me was something really important in my life because I I can find answers to a lot of questions that I had during all my life, you know, about cosmological concepts. So work right now with Nassim is really special for me because mm, I can see the everything. I can see the full picture, you know. So it's not just the general astronomy. You need to see more beyond.
Wow. And tell us how about your background, because you mentioned you've been doing this all your life, but I also know you did a civil engineering degree at the same time as you did your astronomy. So I know you're very humble. So if you could tell us a bit about your background, where you grew up, and your parents, and if you have any siblings, and then what led you on this journey?
Okay, I think that my passion about astronomy started maybe when I was 7 or 8 years old. Maybe watching a lunar eclipse, I think. I was I was in love with all the mystery about astronomy. So I love all the science class and my school and the science programs on TV, especially, you know, Cosmos of Carl Sagan. In fact, I think that Carl Sagan was my first influencer, real influencer in this world of science, you know. So I started to read a lot of books about astronomy and physics and science in general. And yes, my mother supported me all the time. She gave me all the books that I wanted, and she bought my first binoculars, you know. And when I finished my high school, I joined an astronomer association because at that time here in Colombia there was no astronomer career at the university. That's why I studied civil engineering. But during all the time, I continue study astronomy, work on this. I create a lot of groups of astronomy, first in my university, then in different entities. And finally, I could buy my first telescope. Was wow, you don't have idea my happiness at that moment. And I started to make a lot of astronomical observations. And you know, when you see the planets, the telescope is your mind just blowing. You know, it's boom.
Yeah.
It's to see the realities, to see the creation is wonderful. So thanks to my work during all this time, um, I was the director of astronomical observatory. That's why I became the first woman to lead an astronomical observatory here in Latin America. Was really, really, really good experience. I felt, wow, so enormous humility at that moment, and was really, really, really beautiful time. But as you can see, I started civil engineer, but in parallel, I I work all the time in astronomy, in general astronomy.
Wow. It's interesting
Yes.
that you chose two male-orientated careers, you know. What does that feel like, you know, being one of the only women, female astronomers and civil engineer, and being in that masculine male energy?
Yes, well, I have been always surrounded by men because, you know, the astronomical associations and in engineers, the percent of men is really, really high. You know, the
Yeah.
80% are men. So I have been involved in the world men all the time. For me, my experience has been really good because when I joined this astronomer association, I was the only woman, and I was 19 years old.
Wow.
Yes, with 45 men around me all the time, you know. So was a little bit scary for me, but I was so happy to be in this beautiful place, you know, the astronomical world. So they support me, but you know, well, telling the truth, when I became a director of this observatory, I felt a little envy of some of them, you know. But I think that this is just normal in
Well,
relative terms. Yes. Yes, it's interesting, and you know, when I went to Chile in 2009,
yeah.
I gave a lecture, a keynote lecture about women in science, women in astronomy, and I could change the paradigm. That's why right now some the women has right now more opportunities in the observatories.
Wow.
Yes, the percent increase.
Yes, thanks.
That is,
Thanks to your great work, you know, you've been a great ambassador for females in astronomy and a great pioneer of changing the mindset for the men, you know, to be accepting of women in astronomy as well. So thank you, thank you. And it's interesting you mentioned that your passion developed at the age of 7, because I'm always in awe. As a sailor, you know, you go out and I love the night watches. So you can sit on the rails and watch the darkness and the stars come out. And as a child, and I think many children do this, we lie on the ground and look up in the stars, and you know, we ask all those big questions, you know, where are those little light points coming from? And, you know, what are they really? And, you know, how did they get there? And how did we get there? So I believe this is how astronomy came about. But can you tell us how astronomy did first come about?
yes, I think that was just the inspiration. It's just inspiration. When you look at the sky, you just felt a big emotional things. For me, when I was a really, really little, little woman, I was in love with the stars. I was in love with the darkness. I was in love with the moon. I just start my path in this beautiful world, and and yes, I think that was with just seeing like a lunar eclipse. That
Yeah.
was the moment. I think that was that moment when I thought, okay, I really love this. I want to know more about the universe, the stars. Yes, so
Yeah.
and, and as I told you, I start to read a lot of books. You don't have idea. I
Yeah.
have a lot of books about astronomy and science. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why the astronomy is really important, you know, in the kids, in
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah.
You have to learn about the universe. It's part of you.
Yes, I think this is really important to get that message out. And because, you know, today everybody is into science, and that's what science is about, the astronomy. You know, we are part of it. Can you tell us a bit about what we call unified astronomy? Because I know there's different classifications of astronomy.
Okay, yes. The difference is really big
Mm,
because you can find everything about classical astronomy, general or standard astronomy, you know? This
yeah,
astronomy use the classical and modern physics, you know, quantum physics, relativity, and gravity, and all these concepts about the universe. Yes. But the problem is that all these theories in the classical astronomy has like a big gaps. Yes. That's why the conventional scientists use strange terms like dark energy, for example, and dark matter, and use different particles like Higgs boson, quarks, gravitons, and in fact, all this is really unnecessary. But what is the big problem? The problem is that in the classical astronomy, you can't link the relativity with the quantum physics with gravity. But when you learn about unified physics, theories, theories, by Nassim Haramein,
yeah,
you start to understand everything, you know, because you have to consider that the universe, that the space is not empty, is full of energy. Yes,
yes,
and and think that everything is connected. You know, micro and macrocosmo is the same, just in different scale. In the unified astronomy, you learn about the universe like with different terms like holographic and fractal concepts. It's different because in classical astronomy you can't imagine that everything is connected. Yes,
yeah,
it's, everything is isolated and it's really strange because it's the opposite, it's the contrary. Everything is connected. So in unified astronomy, you can see the reality. You can see that, for example, that the one proton in the universe has the all the information from the whole universe because we are living in a fractal universe and it's holographic at the same time. So, for example, the information of the universe is inside you because your body was created with all this matter from the cosmos. You know, your electrons, your protons, your atoms, your energy was made in the cosmos. So you start to see the reality of the universe. Yes. And the other important thing is, for example, in the conventional astronomy, you study the black holes like, so the black holes are the end of the star evolution, you know? But in the unified astronomy, you see that the black holes are the seeds of the creation, not the final stage of, for example, the stars. In fact, the black holes create the universe. The black holes create the stars, the galaxies, create our bodies. We are made of black holes, micro black holes. So
Wow.
everything is so different. Everything is so different. That's why it's really important start to study unified astronomy. And this course is free, you know?
Wow.
Yes, it's online.
So is it your course or Nassim's course, or how do people find it?
It's the Resonance Science Foundation course,
Oh,
and it's free.
oh,
I made,
fantastic.
yes, I made one elective about unified astronomy. And it's really beautiful because it's like the path
Yeah,
from the classical astronomy
yeah.
to unified astronomy in detail. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful elective. Right now it's in Spanish, but soon in English.
Oh,
Contact
fantastic.
with the cosmos.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
at the beginning, you said that since you were a child, you've asked many big questions, and thanks to Nassim, you've been able to have the answers to those questions. So, is this part of the answers, the unified astronomy that you've been looking for?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I am develop like a model,
Yeah,
new models about star evolution and galaxy evolution, because everything is so different. You need to change everything.
wow,
Yes, because the first step to create a star is the black hole, not the
right.
last.
Wow, this is going to be difficult, I think, for a lot of people to understand the concept because, you know, it's completely opposite to what people have learnt as a child and read in books and so forth. So, wow, this is
Yes,
revolutionary.
yes, it's revolutionary, and that's why I have had a lot of problems with my my colleagues in
Yeah,
classical astronomy. You know, a lot
yeah.
of them just say, "Oh, Carolina, what happened with you? You know what? You are in other dimension. Bye bye." Yes, I have had
Wow.
problems, but when you know that you are in the right place in the right side,
Yeah,
you are you are free, and you just want to be like the science communicator, you
yeah,
know. I really want that all the people knows about this because it's revolutionary, but and it's true. Is the answer of a lot of questions that right now all the conventional scientists has in his papers, in their
mm,
papers, you know. For example, the anomalies in the galaxies, anomalies in the evolution of the universe, about the expansion of and the velocity of the universe, what is dark matter and dark energy, what is quarks? Quarks
yeah.
doesn't exist. It's not true. You know? What really exists are Planck's spherical units.
Wow.
Yes, that is like boxes of energy. And these boxes of energy uh, are the seeds of everything, you know, the geometry of the universe. Yes, it is a deep level, but is easy to understand. It's easy to understand if you go into the details and start to see the difference and say, oh wow, this makes sense. Dark matter not make sense. This makes sense. You know, everything about black holes right now is so strange because black holes are not the monsters. No, black holes are the seeds of the creation. So the scientists say, oh, what? But yeah, it's the truth. So that's why work right now with resonance explanation, Nassim Haramein, is really, really a passionate, you know, because I can find solutions. I can see the reality. I can be involved in all this beautiful and magical science.
Fantastic. Wow, that's amazing. I can feel your passion and
Yeah,
I know that you're a constant student and you're always studying and doing the research and looking for questions, looking for answers, and as you said, looking for solutions. And I think people shouldn't just be taking everything for granted and being like a sheep and following. It's wonderful that you've stood in your power, and even though traditional astronomers are saying, Maria Carolina, what's wrong with you, etc., we're leaving you behind, it's good, and to have the support of Nassim as well. I know you're very powerful in your own right, and I'm sure you both complement each other, and the work with resonance studies, because it's amazing the work that he's doing. And it's great that you're part of the team, because I know he has all the top experts on his team. And
yeah.
because you mentioned black holes and monsters, what are your thoughts on extraterrestrial life?
This is another interesting topic, enigmatic topic. You know what? The scientists, conventional scientists, don't like to talk about it because it's extraterrestrial life. No, please, come on. But you know what? For me, life exists around the universe. It's just normal. For example, just in our galaxy, Milky Way, there are 100 billions of stars,
Yeah.
and each star maybe has one planet. Why not? So you start to think, okay, maybe we have 100 billion of exoplanets just in our galaxy. But in the universe, there are 100 billions of galaxies, each one with 100 billions of stars. So you have to multiply and just think, okay, this is really big. The universe is really big. And just to think that we are alone in the universe is not make sense. It's strange. It's strange. Right now, the number of exoplanets is really big, and we can see solar systems really close from us in our galaxy. So why not? And the other thing is that we have evidence in this planet about high technological level. So I'm convinced that we are not alone, that there are a lot of extraterrestrial life, maybe with a big technological knowledge, and and of course, life is different here than on Mars, maybe on Jupiter and the other solar systems, because it's not the same chemistry. You know, yes, it's probably so different, but I think that we are not alone, and just to think that the universe, that in the universe there is just this humanity is really, really, really stupid and egocentric thought.
Yeah, yeah.
And one thing, yes, and one thing that the astronomy teach you is the meaning of the word humility. You need to be humble. You need to know that you are not the one in the universe, that you are part of this beautiful universe. You know, you are not alone. You have to have connection with the rest of the people. You have to keep your focus in good things, because everything is connected, you know, and you are connected with the cosmos and maybe with these beautiful and different entities, you know, in other worlds. Or maybe here, you don't have idea, you know, but we have evidence.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I remember listening years ago to a talk with Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he said, imagine we're like, you've got all the millions of cells in the body, but imagine if we could be like one of those cells and we're transmitting information to different universes and they're sending us messages back. I think, as you say, a lot of people are narrow-minded, would have been like the first people on the planet, because for years people believed the planet was flat, and if we get to the edge, we fall off. So I admire you for standing in your power and continuing your great work so that the world can evolve and that we can, all grow from it. And because you mentioned it should be taught in schools, are there any schools teaching astronomy the way that you are teaching?
Yeah, it's true. For me, it's really important. Each child needs to learn about the physics, about the astronomy, and about the sacred geometry. You know, it's the universal geometry. For me, it's really important to talk about it, because we are made of this beautiful metric, this beautiful geometry of the universe, and everything is so perfect in the universe, including you know? So for me, it's really important. If you are like a kid from 5 years old, and if you start to learn about the geometry of the universe, the geometry of the nature, the geometry of everything, you start to go in a good way, you know, about science, about the connections between archaeology, physics, math, chemistry, geometry, biology. Everything is connected, not isolated.
Yes, totally agree. So, are there any schools teaching it? Teaching the children?
Yes, please. All the schools need to teach astronomy.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
This
I
is,
did it.
you did it. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes.
And I know that you also studied sacred geometry with Drunvalo Melchizedek. What was that like?
Yeah, it was a beautiful experience. learn about sacred geometry with Trumbalo Melchizedek. Maybe it was, I don't know, in 2008.
Wow.
Yesterday. He came here in Bogota and he did a beautiful experience. I think that was 8 days. So we went in a beautiful place, close to Bogota, really. And you just start to learn of these details. And I was really interested about it because I love the geometry.
Mhm.
So with Drumbalo was really, really great experience. And I remember when he started to talk about Merkaba activation and Merkaba meditation. And for me at that moment that time was, I don't know meditation with science.
Mhm.
I was in other time. You have to
Yeah.
understand, no? So spiritual, I don't know, but it's okay. But then I just saw, oh wow, yes, makes sense because your body is just energy in this beautiful geometry and just activate the tetrahedron. Was beautiful, beautiful. Yes, so that's why I know about sacred geometry. And now doing my research about unified astronomy, you can see that everything is connected. You know, sacred universal geometry with physics, with astrophysics, with cosmology, with biology, with everything, with the micro and the macrocosmos. It's so beautiful. Yes.
Fantastic. And if there was someone starting out, wants to be an astronomer, for example, because I know you're so passionate and successful, what tips would you give them? What advice?
Uh, do you mean like things that you really can be involved in astronomy?
Yeah,
For
you know,
example, a meteor shower.
if someone's in school and they're choosing to start a career in astronomy, what advice would you give them?
Oh wow! You know, the experiments is really good. Walking on the nature and talk about the astronomy is really good. Obviously, look the sky with the naked eye,
Yeah,
naked eye,
naked eye.
naked eye, and start to identify the constellations, the movements of the constellations, the movements of the planets, the dynamics and the mechanics of the universe, and then use the telescope and see the planets. You don't have idea when you have the kid, like I don't know, like 7 years old, and put his body in the telescope and say, right now you will see the Saturn rings. And the kid say, okay. And yes, he just see and see and see and see and see. Hey, oh yes, it's true. I can see the Saturn's rings. And the kids start to cry and it's a beautiful experience. So it's really important to inspire with activities, with books, with a virtual conference, with the telescopes, go to the observatories, go to the planetariums, and just feel the passion, you know, to
Yeah,
feel the power of the universe.
Yeah, I can imagine what it would have been like, you know, where, because as children you look at the stars, but when you look through the telescope, everything is like so incredible, like you're saying. And I wonder what
Yes.
it's like when the first person designed the telescope, you know, if people, what their thoughts were, you know, how they could believe that they could see through the lens and see it so close.
Yes, it's a beautiful experience. For me, it was so beautiful. My first time when I saw, for example, Jupiter, and then Saturn, and then Mars. It's, oh my God, it's true. And it's so beautiful, it's perfect. Obviously, the size is little, you know, because
Yeah,
it's not the big telescope.
yeah,
But, and in fact, right now, if I take my telescope and see through them, for me, it's a really beautiful experience each moment. No matter, I can see Jupiter 1,000 times, and it's the same experience, beautiful experience. You see the move, the Jupiter's moon, for example,
yeah.
and see the change of the rings of Saturn, see the comets, you see the meteor showers. It's so beautiful experience. It's wow. One 10 years ago, I went to see a Perseids meteor shower, and I count 846 meteors.
Wow. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
I remember because was the best experience with a shower and meteor shower. Was really beautiful with a big meteorite. You know the
Yeah,
bullet. You can you can hear the explosion, and you can see the
goodness.
colors. The meteorite. It's fantastic. I remember. I
Wow.
remember. Yes. Right now, there is one meteor shower, Lyrit's meteor shower. It's not too, but it's beautiful. And the eclipse, solar eclipse and moon eclipse are always beautiful. You know, everything is beautiful in the universe. Everything. The stars, the black holes, the nebula. See the nebula through telescope is so beautiful. It's beautiful. Different colors, the shapes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's beautiful.
Well,
I'm in love.
I think everybody should invest in a telescope and
Yes, it's
start
important.
looking. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
If there was one thing that you could do to change the world, what would it be?
uh, some some feelings, bad feelings. You know, for example, the envy. Envy is really bad for the humanity. We have to be connected. We have to be together all the time because we are we are alone in this planet, and if you are not a good person, your participation is not good, it's not positive, you know. So yes, for example, the bad feelings of the human being, because it's catastrophic. In fact, when you study unified physics and unified astronomy, you can see that the way to go in a good or to have a good future is just unify the people. We
Right.
need unification, you know. Right now it's very important. We are not separate. We can't continue with these stupid feelings. egos, envy, kill. And with the, obviously with the animals, with the environment, we have to take care of our planet. Is our spaceship. And if we destroy our spaceship, you know, we
Yeah.
are so vulnerable. Yes, being.
Yeah.
So yes, for me the important key is unify the humanity.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's
Thinking
lovely.
about the world right now and all these bad things around us, you know, it's really bad. And we have to keep good vibes, good feelings, good thoughts all the time and spread the people, you know. Yes.
Thank you. So,
Unification.
dear listeners, remember unification and be watching your thoughts and, you know, love one another and love the universe and remember that we're all one and we're all connected. So
Yes.
thank you so much for giving up your precious time to talk to us today. And I shall add all your links and your contact details with the show notes. And I'm sure we'll be having many more talks in future. And fingers crossed, we'll be doing more events with you and Nassim in Australia and Monaco and globally. So thank you for being you and staying in your power. Thank you.
Oh, Beverly, thank you for this beautiful opportunity. Thank you because yes, we need to have these moments to talk about it and just see that we have to reconnect with the rest of the people, with us humanity, you know. And yes, and I just hope see you again in a beautiful places, doing science, doing inspire people in a good things. As
Thank
you
you.
do all the time.
Thank you.